I've decided I want to make America great again. I'm confused about the geography, so I've been working on this for a long time, and I have to start local, and I have to think about where do I live in America, and it's confusing. It's hard to figure it out, to be honest. I live in an area that's called Skevinston. You don't find Skevinston anywhere on the internet unless you look really hard and try to figure it out. But if I'm going to order something from like a company that can't deliver products very well anymore, and it's hard to return things, which is wait, all of them, isn't it? I think it's all of them. Or if I'm trying to get a plumber out here to, do something, well, um, maybe I don't want those people to come. I don't think I want those people to come to my. I'm glad they can't find it because they want to know, where do you live? Like, well, I live in Evanston. Well, but why does it say Village of Skokie on the trash cans? I thought I moved into Evanston, and the so does the post office. They can find the house. His name's Danny. Danny can find the house. When I see him in the little truck, hey Danny, can you find the house? Yeah, I can find the house. Where do we live, Danny? He doesn't know either. He works for the Evanston Postal System, though. U.S. Postal System, Evanston Outpost. What else do I? What? Okay, I live in Skokie. Who do I pay taxes to? I'm not completely sure, but it says Cook County. So I also live in Cook County, not Lake County. Cook County and Lake County have very different cultures. So I live in Cook County. Who do I pay taxes to, though? I'm not completely sure. I also pay taxes to, what is it called? Niles Township. And one of my favorite coffee shops, and it's not a Starbucks. People go in there and eat pizza. They order pizza and they bring it into the Starbucks. It reminds me of Best Buy when they used to do showrooming. Starbucks right now in this area. So there's the Starbucks in Skokie tends to get a lot of people who work for like cleaning services and stuff like this. I think I can't tell what they work for. Somewhere like in the real estate business, but they go in and have dinner, but not at Starbucks. They usually order a pizza. But it's comfortable, and you can get I don't know what that stuff is. Is it coffee? Um, but there's another Starbucks in Niles. That's where all the cops go. Village of Niles cops hang out at that Starbucks, Milwaukee Avenue. I go in there sometimes too. They got "Make America Great" hats on, but they say things like Navy veteran, local cop, retired. Why is he hanging out there? Because all his buddies come and hang out with him, and they talk about cop stuff. So I love listening to cops talk. They're awesome. They're hilarious. I don't want to be on the other side of the baton in Chicago, but those cops are. It's not easy being a cop. You noticed? It's not easy being in a neighborhood either, with a lot of cops in it. So I noticed that too. I want to make America great again, though. I'm just trying to figure out where it is. And there's more. The Yemeni coffee shop at Niles. Is that in Niles Township or is that a different government? I can't tell. I'm not sure. I think it's Niles Township, but it's in Niles. And that's where the Walmart is too. And the Half Price bookstore where I get my books. And I also get my books at Barnes & Noble. Both of those places like books. Half Price Books doesn't tend to give much back for them, but at least they recirculate them into the economy. And Barnes & Noble's, is it Barnes & Noble? Barnes & Noble. Borders is out of business. They're invaders from Michigan. Wait, where's Barnes & Noble's New York? Invaders. It's not bad though. So I talked to the local manager and I said, what if people came in here and did a trunk show with their books? Because, Amazon's having trouble delivering packages. This is called an entrepreneur business opportunity. So I'm trying to explain this. to the store manager at the Niles branch. I'm going to try Old Orchard next. And I said, what if somebody wanted to do a trunk show and help you sell tons of books? And the answer was, what are you talking about? I'm like, all right, I'm done. I can't have conversations with people like this anymore. It's too confusing for them and for me. Tired of explaining. It's a good idea, though. The local Nordstrom, we used to do it. When I worked with the buyer of the local Nordstrom, when they opened up the Central States region, you know who worked the floor? The buyer. And they'd come in and say, you got anything good for the anniversary sale? And the answer was, how much are you going to buy this time? We're not going to do this for 24 units. Sorry. And they say, yeah, but that's my customer. No. We need a bigger order. Let's call the negotiation. I don't know where I am. And I don't know where America is either. So we're going to make America great again. I would change the words a little bit because I want to do this a lot because I'm tired of bad plumbers, bad dentists winning. Are they winning? I don't think they're winning. I think they've been winning. Bad educational systems. I think they've been winning. They've been winning, but I'm not sure how long it's going to last. Bad healthcare people, bad financial services people. I got a lot of stories about them. Sitting in the dental chair with an issue with this up here. I'm glad I had a good dentist and I didn't go to dentology around the corner. The website looks great. The dental hygienist explained to me how it works. Is it going to succeed? Is Gen Z going to buy from them? We'll see. Not if there's a better alternative, though. Not if there's a better alternative. You can't stop that. Can't stop progress. Better alternatives win. Trump's familiar with this. He just may have forgotten. Because, Elon and the Oompa Loompas are not going to get this done. Fake bookmark with the makeover. Where's he been all these years? I thought Facebook was about connecting. Where have you been? In the back? It's Facebook. Fake book. I can't even tell who's who. I think Google will do it with the AI, though. They're doing a makeover also. Haven't you borrowed enough money from investors? Haven't you borrowed enough money? Andreessen Horowitz, same thing. Same thing. Haven't you? Wait a minute. Who won the browser wars? Netscape? What's Netscape? Was that Mosaic? I can't keep the history straight. There's too much chains. It's too confusing for me. It's hard to track things that don't make any sense. At least for me. I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to study it because if I go to Google, I can't figure it out. Now the AI is getting better. And I'm learning how to ask the AI if the stuff on Google is real. And the AI usually gives me the wrong answer at first. But if I work at it, I get the right answer. So the AI is starting to work. It was very hard to find a decent water remediation service, though, locally on Google. Service Pro and what's the other one? Service Master pop up and a bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, you're not coming in my basement. I've already tried that. Not going to happen. We got it done. And now we're going to go local. Let's go. Where's America, though? I'm confused. Does it include Valparaiso and Valparaiso? I'm not sure. What does America include? Does it include Canada? I think Canada's in America. Is Puerto Rico in America? Should we have local chapters? Make Puerto Rico great again. Should we make Valparaiso, Chile great again? Should we make Valparaiso, Indiana great again? Yes. Do I have an opinion about this? Ask the bloviating Marks. No, there's only one Mark that bloviates. Andreessen Horowitz, I'm not taking your money. Oh, you're not going to give it to me. I know. I applied for an entrepreneur co-working space downtown Chicago when it opened in the Merchandise Mart. I used to work in the Apparel Center. I know the Merchandise Mart and the Apparel Center really well. Now it's 350 North Orleans. They took the name Apparel Center out of it because change. When RCN, the cable company, moved in, I knew it was over. But I stuck out for a long time because there was plenty of money coming in. And then when I knew there wasn't going to be, I cashed out. But I'm not an entrepreneur, according to certain entrepreneurs, because I've never used a pitch deck. I know how to make them, but I've never used one. And when I applied, because I needed a co-working space, luckily, I think WeWork was full because it was really popular. Because we're changing the world. What was it called? I don't remember now. Downtown Chicago, the Merchandise Mart. Super cool. Those are smart people. They wouldn't let me in though because I didn't have a tech company. No software. Well, I use software though a lot. I've been using software for a long time. You know when it started? With Bill Gates, Microsoft Access. That thing's impossible to figure out. I had a book, Microsoft Access. It was this thick. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. What did I do? I did it. I couldn't finish though. I got 80% of the way there though. I needed relational database reporting to build this business up because I got tired of manufacturers calling and saying, how's it going? And the answer was, I have no idea because the business has grown so much. We can't figure it out anymore. I tried to say that, but they didn't like the answer. The answer they wanted was, we need this information by Monday. Well, I'm working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at what we used to call shows. What's a show? We show you the clothes. And it was busy. Why? Because I created a brand. So everybody wanted to be in where? Our big showroom. Wasn't on Central Park in New York City. Wait a minute. Where's New York City anyways? People think New York City's Manhattan. Manhattan's Manhattan. New York City's all of it. People don't even know that. They don't know about anything going on west of the Hudson because to them, it doesn't matter. I don't know anything going on. Not really. Is it the Hudson? East River would be the other. Yeah, Hudson. It's got to be. I get the directions confused. I'm like that. Trump's the same way. I get the directions confused sometimes. I don't know where anything is. I'm always getting lost. I don't know what goes on east of the Hudson. Who does? Trump family. They figured it out, didn't they, in the 70s? Not easy to get a big tax break from New York City. What was it, New York City? Or was it the mayor of Manhattan? How did that work? I think it was New York City. I think he's in charge of all of it. I was not content to sit in the back corridor in the apparel center. My dad was fine with it. He's like, who gives a shit? I said, I do. They're disrespectful to me and you. He's like, I don't care. I said, they're throwing their garbage out the back door. The company was called Greenberg and Zarlin. Why were they able to get away with that? They weren't. I beat them. They didn't even know it. I didn't have to do anything. They beat themselves and their business collapsed. Why? The New York relationships. There's Chicago Jews and New York Jews. The New York Jews have more money. They were Chicago Jews and they didn't realize it. I'm like, you're just a little regional territory for this big brand. They're going to fire you when they don't need you anymore. We created a brand. I created a brand. My dad makes sure we had enough money to do it and a computer. My grandmother did collections. She lost her job though when we computerized. Eh, she had a great relationship with the computer. She had a great relationship with the computer. She's like, "We don't need that thing. It makes mistakes." She was right. Have you tried to use a computer recently? I think we all do. They're on our phones now. Every time Apple does an update, I need like a day figure out what the hell's going on. Finish the product. I wouldn't give Elon a dime until he fixes PayPal. Is that? But he was like, "Well, I sold it." It's still your responsibility. You started it. You don't care at all about your product quality. You want $100 billion to do something? I never needed $100 billion to do anything. My dad paid me 3 grand a month, and I got sample money. And then a couple years later, he's like, "Did you see the pension fund?" He set up a pension fund and a profit sharing plan. We didn't have that much money, well, and we did. Why? Yeah. Mm. Like Trump, I didn't get any credit either. Nice work helping your dad out. Trump needed credit. So when that hotel went up in Manhattan in the 70s, when everything was burning to the ground in the whole city, all New York City, it wasn't just Manhattan's great, and the Bronx is a disaster. Queens is flushing down the toilet. No, no, it was all messed up, bankrupt, bankrupt. Sorry, Manhattan. Good luck. Sorry, New York City. We don't need you anymore. We don't need New York City. Too big to fail. Uh, so, so Trump's like, what if we negotiate a deal and get a big tax break? It helps if your dad knows the mayor really well and how it works. But I'm telling you, in New York City, especially Manhattan, you could probably screw up in the Bronx or Queens or Staten Island. You can't screw up in Manhattan. Does anybody open a Broadway play without going to Peoria first in Illinois? They don't go anymore because Peoria is in flyover country and it's been destroyed. Probably, I haven't been there in a long time. I used to go to all these places. I still want to. The problem is, I don't have time. We want to make America great again now. Best plumber I know. Found him last week. Finally, I have a decent plumber. He came out to the house. They said, "How's your schedule look?" And I said, "Who's your smartest plumber?" I'm finally figuring out how to deal with these people. They answer the phone. I forget her name. You can't find them on Google. They're buried. Or you can find them, but it's too confusing. So I found it finally. Local chapters, folks. Let's make America great again. All of it, especially Canada. Flyover country needs help from none of them. We don't need their help. We can do it. If you're good at what you do, you don't need these people's money. Don't take it. If you get an investment from Andreessen Horowitz, your company's going to fail because they're going to want to sell it to Google. And they're going to take as much money for themselves as possible. I found a great insurance broker, healthcare broker, finally, number one in the state of Illinois. And I'm like, you don't want me as a client. We have 2 lives in the business. They call them lives. I'm alive. So is my wife, spouse, or partner, depending on what generation you're from. I want to be respectful of everyone. And I'm not kidding about that. But you decide on what language you need to hear. And she spent hours with us, and now it's fine. I got out of the Allstate benefits nightmare and the bots and the confusion. I'm like, oh my God, Allstate bought my broker. Now what's going to happen? And I couldn't even figure out who's. Well, she figured it all out. What was the hardest part? Blue Cross Blue Shield's computer system. It's the hardest part of the entire deal. And I was sitting in the room with her. I'm like, where are you from? Soviet Union. I've been to the Soviet Union too. Around the same time, I think she left to come where? Um, Chicago, Skokie. She made it. I got something from Blue Cross. It says we are required to disclose how much commission we pay our agents. It was like 40 bucks. I said, "You came here from the Soviet Union, you should have stayed. You would have made more money in Putin's Russia." Um, Now there's sacrifices and compromises you're gonna have to make that money. But in the United States, why does Blue Cross get all the money? She got like 40 bucks. This woman's worked her ass off. Super networker. Aha. We got you, Jeff. I can't figure out what to call Jeff Bezos yet. Um, the Amazon, because he looks like he's working out. Have you ever seen a picture of Mackenzie Bezos? Um, my wife's beautiful, and she's my age. You ever seen a picture of Mackenzie Bezos? Um, it's just it doesn't give me confidence in what's coming into the flyover country, which is healthcare from Amazon. They can't even run a grocery store right, and they're going to run healthcare with AI. How much money do these people need to create a decent business and to finish? They want more money. I think Trump should do technology founder mode celebrity apprentice. Now, I would be nice to the Oompa Loompas, but as far as Elon, um, I would throw him into Manhattan and see if he can figure out how to make money with a hot dog cart. You got to be nice to people, even if you don't like them. Not easy. Uh, I watched on Netflix. I haven't finished it because I don't have time, but I want to finish it. My wife doesn't want to watch. She's like, I don't want to watch this crap, but I want to watch it. It's a Netflix documentary on Trump in the 70s, and I'm watching him, and he's in one of those meetings in Manhattan, New York City, I don't know. Everything in New York's about Manhattan. Why? Because it's about ambition. You don't make a mistake in Manhattan. He couldn't make a mistake. He was like 26 years old. I was 26 years old when I took over the business I was in. We created the number one company in the country, uh, probably in terms of revenue, but definitely in terms of profitability, and definitely in terms of quality of life for the people who work for us, who we paid for their health care. And I cut them in on the profit sharing plan too. Why? So they wouldn't leave. I'm so nice. Hey, you guys want to go home? You know how hard it is to work and roll racks of clothes through union controlled Cobo Hall and on and on in the apparel center loading dock and blah, 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 blah. Thank God I did that and I couldn't get into Kellogg. I'd be selling cornflakes. No, they don't sell cornflakes anymore. They sell dental chains. I don't know what they do there. Smart people. I did a lot of classes at the other one too, GSB, Graduate School of Business, called Booth now. I was a graduate student at large and I was selling marketing communications, trying to get into a real business. I didn't think what I was doing was real business. I'm like, well, they know because they're at Booth. And the teacher, um, she's like, you left all the math out. I'm like, because I don't know how to do math. It was about chickens killing each other. And I'm like, I get it, but I can't figure out the math. Okay, what's happening on campus? How are we preparing for Break Fix February? If I stand up here with opinions, I'm not standing, I'm sitting, doesn't matter. And don't listen to me. If I'm doing something, building a hotel, I'm going to fight for success because I have my money on the line. I'm not taking somebody else's money. It's my money. I made that money in my 20s and I invested it in what? Good companies. I don't have any tech stocks, not one. Um, the Entrepreneur Experience platform opens February. Maybe. No, it's opening February. It's an invite only party for founding member, ambassador, and partners private networks. Why? Because the toilets may overflow on the virtual campus. We're working hard on this. Uh, I'm not using their technology. I'm using good technology from a company called Welo because it's secure. You can't get in unless we let you. Video metaverse. You can't make a bot presentation like on Facebook. It's real. You can see the people. You gotta turn on your camera. I mean, you don't have to turn on your camera. I don't care, but you gotta register. We gotta know who you are. So you have to be invited. That's why. Uh, and then something called High Level, which used to be called Go High Level. And we went. It's a software platform. We started with a company that didn't know how to do it right. It's a smart model. It's what's called an agency model, and very complex. The minute I said this, I got inundated with people on LinkedIn who wanted to know if we could partner. I'm like, you want to sell me your Go High Level services? No, I just want to partner. We'll have a discussion and talk about your needs. I'm like, oh, okay. You can't even tell me what you want. One guy did. You know where he is? Nigeria. We're going to hire him, but not yet. We're not ready for him, but we will. I talked to him and I'm like, oh, you get it. You could do this. So we're figuring this out. I can't do this myself. You got to finish. How am I going to finish? You know the hardest part about building a house? I've done it. The house didn't have a foundation. It was in the city of Chicago. That's the problem. It was north of North Avenue or Division. I forget which street. There's no building codes. There were no building codes when they built it. I'm like, how'd they build this house? He said, we're not really sure. Can we knock a hole in your basement? I'm like, it looks like sure. Yeah, go ahead. And he said, this is going to be fun. I'm like, for you. It was the same company that did Wrigley Field, which was falling apart. They had to put nets up because it's the same company, an engineering company. They totally screwed it up. And I had to get a different company in. They screwed it up. It goes on and on. It's a long story. And then they jacked up the house and they poured a real foundation. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was going to have to do that when I bought the house. I didn't know houses didn't have foundations. I'm like, how does this house stand up? He says it folds in on itself. I'm like, oh no. And then the basement flooded after the project. And my friend was like, I forget what it's called. He says, did you sign or did you keep writing checks, Larry? I said, yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. No, that's called the punch list. It goes on forever if you keep writing checks. He said, there's something called a quick claim deed, and you tell them, or they can put a lien on your house. I said, they can? Oh, I'm glad I asked the question. We want to break fix this complex integration between Welo, the video metaverse, High Level, the software platform, and our Discord server. You know who can't get in? You know who owns that? I do. I don't own the software companies, but they can't cancel me like Facebook or Google, YouTube. It's mine. The local chapters, key. Let's make America great again. We need a Puerto Rico chapter. I love Puerto Rico. What an awesome country. We need a Bronx chapter too. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans in Chicago, Humboldt Park. We stayed with neighbors. So the dad who retired to Puerto Rico because it's a nicer lifestyle than Chicago. Latin countries are awesome. If you have not hung out with Latin people in a Latin country, you don't know how life works. And we're in the middle of Puerto Rico, and they call them fincas. At least in South America, they do. America, make South America great again too. We need local chapters. Santiago de Chile chapter. So it could say, make America great. Forget the again, because why would we go backwards? Let's learn from the past and go forward. That's what I'm doing. I don't care if anybody comes. Well, you need to pay, but we got free too. We got, no, it's not free. It's we're going to make money together, and you're going to have to do stuff for us if you're not paying. Otherwise, you take it for granted, and then I'm wasting everybody's time. How about local chapters everywhere? How about local chapters that focus on local music? How about local chapters that focus on plumbing quality? How about local chapters that focus on everything, mortgages? Why don't we make money? Local chapters on local retail. Instead of begging people to shop local, let's make it better. We can make it better. It's so easy because these national chains are so bad right now. And Amazon, what are they going to do when nobody wants to work there anymore? They'll never get in the house. You got to deliver that. They're going to put drones and they're going to drop packages. They do it now. I forget who it was. It might have been Nordstrom. And God, Nordstrom, I love Nordstrom. They were so good. Now they can't figure out their computer system. The people in Nordstrom are just so frustrated. And They dropped a packet. We have a video of them. You take video of everything, and the package had holes in it, and the guy just threw it. And then we went to the site, and I'm like, I don't even know where these people are. They probably outsourced it, and it's so confusing. The AI bots, those are the people in the system that aren't allowed to think. They're following a script, and they're sending these mail merge automated sequencing things because they don't know how to set up their system right. We did in high level. You know how hard that is to do? Cost me $2,000. $2,000. I built a $30 million business infrastructure that's scalable and extensible for a couple grand a month. How much money do these people need to finish their businesses? I don't get it because it doesn't make sense. That's why. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger have been saying this for years. Wake up. No, do something. How about winning? Let's make sure best mechanics win. Best mechanics, best product wins. That's how you make America great again. And let's make all of it great again, including the Gulf of America. You know what language they speak in Mexico? Mexican. You know what language they speak in Guatemala? Spanish. You know what language they speak in Chile? Chilean. It's different. How about Argentina? Also in America. What about not France? Oh, yeah. In Canada. You ever been to Quebec City? I haven't. I've been to Montreal though. Quebecois. In France, they're like, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't want to get into that stuff because they get really testy, that whole crowd, about French and their language. Okay, so the local chapter weekend. Oh, I made a mistake. The local chapter weekends and retreats. We're going to do retreats. I got the place, Villa Serena, where in Americas, I think it's America, Dominican Republic. It's attached to Haiti, same island. Let's make that great again too. Was it ever great? Yeah. Latin cultures are awesome. All of them. Is it in the Americas? I'm not sure. Is it Caribbean? I can't ever figure out where anything is, including my car. When I go to Old Orchard where Nordstrom is, I go to the wrong end all the time. But then it's cool. I can go to Barnes and Noble. The full opening comes in March, and then we rock and roll globally. Think global, act local. Those are good ideas. I think we'll see. I have no doubt. And neither did Trump when he sat there making the hotel. He's like, no. He told Rona Barrett. She's a gossip columnist. He played that thing. I don't want any part of those people. He did because he's in Manhattan. How did he know? There's a couple laws. One is called the law of assumption. You got to know the difference between how these laws work. He does. He doesn't understand it. He just does it. You have to understand it. You just got to do it. Law of assumption. Read Neville Goddard. Law of attraction. That's a different thing. He attracted to himself Roy Cohn. He's like, oh, you're going to be useful. Dark Lord of the underworld. The ends justify the means, I guess, in Manhattan, because you can't fail. You don't get a second chance, Elon. And the Oompa Loompa. Be nice to the Oompa Loompas. You know, they're just following him. They don't know any better. They're kids. So is he. Running an entrepreneur experiment on the federal government. Okay. Getting to ideal experience took years of practice, trial and error, and a long beta and pilot phase using flexible founder mode approach. I love technology founder mode conversations. How do you do it? Be a genius at technology. Oh, okay. So you guys get all the money. Screw you. I'm clawing it back. Not me, all of us. Anybody who shows up with a better product is going to beat these people. They take too much money. They're playing a shell. What are they doing with all that money? Where did it go? I think we know. Red Pill Pathway sponsors the project. Think about that. Brought to you by, I like brought to you by Red Pill Pathway. The entrepreneur experience is brought to you by, it's not just me. So if you don't like me, you don't even have to talk to me. Just go to different rooms. Where else? Everybody globally is welcome to attend the February open house, but you gotta go through a founding team member. They have the guest passes. We got some big networks, so we gotta make sure the toilets don't overflow in the model home. It's a virtual model home, but it's still a model home. You don't open the real estate development and everybody comes in drinking wine and listen, the cookies are baking and the toilets all overflow. If one toilet overflows or something falls, it can't fall off the ceiling and hurt somebody. You get the point. Trim carpenters, good trim carpenter and a good general contractor. It's a nice combo. Um, but oh my God, dealing with plumbers. We finally found a good plumber. You know where he's from? Guatemala. He looks at the house and he's like, "Oh, I get it." And I'm not sure yet. And he comes inside and he's like, "Okay, here's what's going on." And he explains the village of Skokie. And oh, it's not our fault. We put a liner in. Well, they did it wrong. Now it's right. That cost a lot of money. Why? Because the best plumbing company uh, in this region, in the North Shore of where all the money is. I don't live right there. I live across the street from it. I got a nice house though, but I didn't want to. We didn't want to go to that high school. It's too confusing over there. Um, he's like, I figured it out. It's like, oh, the ground's frozen and it rained in February. Where's the water going to go? The street flooded. Now where's it going to go? Who's responsible for that? Apparently me. Red pill pathway. Oh, one more thing. So when Chicago did deep tunnel, one of the friends of mine was a street sheet metal worker, Tim. He's working on deep tunnel in the city, and he's like, Larry, these people don't know what the hell they're doing. It's not deep enough. He's a sheet metal worker. Nobody asked him. So the city's flooding all the. It's a mess. How do you fix this? Whose fault is it? Let's talk about whose fault it is for 15 years and then take money from other people and do more studies and then get entrepreneur money to make the AI fix it. That'll work. Trump's going to realize at some point when he stops doing the stunts to deliver on his campaign promises, he's going to look around. He's going to say, none of these people know what they're doing. Is he going to take the fall for you? Are you going to get political cover? It's going to be fun. But you gotta act local. You gotta do it. They're not gonna do it for us. Red Pill Pathway sponsors the project. Everybody globally is welcome to it. I'm doing something about it. Are you? To attend the February, you can. Our founding. Oh, I forgot. I already said that. I'll share why the company exists. I just did. I'm not going to tell you. Pay attention. My journey to completion. That was a long one. 5 years to make this happen. I tried to become popular on social media. I learned a lot. And how my action adventure life, oh, that's for sure, with many car crashes, that's for sure too, led to this quality test. When CD-ROMs came out and interactive multimedia presentations in the marketing industry, we did a marketing project for a local company called ComDisco, run by the son of a founder that didn't know what he was doing. And the company was falling apart. And he hired all his frat buddies from University of Illinois. That's at least what I could tell. I don't know. I don't want to say names. Go look it up though. And I know the fam. I remember the name from growing up. And he's running this company. He doesn't know what he's doing. He can't admit it. And he's bringing in all his frat buddies. And the sales force now is a mess. And they're going crazy. And they're running in around and all these Oompa Loompas. And they're running around doing all these things. And I got a contract with them. And I think we billed them about $1 million. And they didn't use any of the stuff we did right. The people who hired me did. They got it. Some of the practice leads got it. The company didn't. The power in the company was this guy. Didn't know what he was doing. And the multimedia presentation, we didn't have time to quality check it. They wouldn't give us time. It was hard to build into the schedule because they were so disorganized. The people I was working for that hired me, because I'm trying to figure out what they want, and I helped them get it. And then they got to figure out internally how to deal with this confusion. And it was a great company. They had a good model originally, and then they decided to change the world. You don't talk about changing the world; you change the world.